I'm Chris Gemme. I am a field application engineer for CommScope. I got started off in the cable TV industry when I was just a young lad. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a house where my father was a cable TV pioneer starting back in the early 60s. So I had the opportunity to start going to work with him when I got to be about 7 years old and start learning a few things. And each year he would add a few more things for me to learn, and eventually got to where I could do installations. I could do head-end work, learned how to do mapping and design work, and then eventually learned how to start doing the construction of the network as well. So great learning opportunity, great amount of time I got to spend learning that.
So kind of working in all of those hands-on spaces, technician, construction, what do you feel are kind of your favorite aspects about that area of the industry, that kind of work?
Yeah, so what I really find exciting about being a technician out in the field is the troubleshooting aspect of it, understanding how the signal flows and what is actually going to impact its performance. So again, going back to that troubleshooting, if you like to tinker, you like to problem solve, this is a great industry to be in for that.
Sweet. And then other side of it, as far as people considering the industry, what do you think have been the most, tedious, or what do you think people should be aware of on the other side, like the demands or the needs of the job?
Yeah, the job is fairly demanding, right? We're asked to get a lot of work done in very short periods of time. Troubleshooting often can take a long time to do, but we don't necessarily have that amount of time. So we have to learn ways and methods to be able to troubleshoot faster. The halving method is probably the most common thing that we're taught and learn how to use, to break the system down in half and then dissect half of it, and if we don't find anything in there, dissect that half down further in half. So there's a lot of good methods that we use. I think the most challenging part of the industry itself is that there is so much to learn. Right out of the gate, it can seem like it's an impossibility to know everything. So the great news is you don't have to know everything in this business. Everybody, and I mean everybody I've ever worked with, wants to share their knowledge. They want to help teach you what you need to know to be the best possible technician. Because at the end of the day, you're working as a team. And when everybody on that team is performing tops, it makes all the jobs easier for everybody.
Cool. So, I've been reporting in this specific area for, probably since around February. We've talked to all these technicians, all these climbers, and I feel like it's this cool time right now where, more kids are looking at trade work, hands-on work, areas with, obviously also more stable job markets. You don't have to get into debt. With those kinds of folks in mind, and maybe not just them, maybe someone's transitioning from another field, but, what would you offer up as in terms of direct advice for people who are maybe considering the field, or what you think, maybe these guys just don't know, because so many people considering trades have no real idea that this is such an important area and that it's as big as it is.
Yeah, so in terms of this trade, we often hear about some of these other high-paying trades like welders and electricians and plumbers getting paid really well these days. Well, fiber technicians get paid really well too. I know personally of a couple of companies out there where they've got employees working for them. They're getting paid piecework instead of hourly, but that puts them in the driver's seat over how much they can make. And we're seeing some of these folks bring in six-figure salaries during the year. And as a matter of fact, there's one gentleman that I got to meet earlier this year. He was bringing home $175,000 in the month of July. So from January to July, $175,000, that is a lot of money. He said, I'm taking off the last quarter of this year to spend some time doing some stuff I like to do. So there's plenty of opportunity to go out there and make a lot of money. Not everybody's going to be the highest earners, but that potential is there if that's what you're driven for. And those that just want to make a good living and spend time where they get to work a little bit more independently, not have somebody standing over them while they're doing their work, it's a great career for that as well. But certainly, I've seen and had a lot of friends in this industry that are less risk averse than I am, that have taken that path of going through and being a contractor, end up starting their own contracting company, and retired by the time they're 40 with millions of dollars sitting in the bank. So if you want to earn big, this is a great place to do it. It's a fun environment. And again, everybody loves to teach each other. So I just find it exciting every day.
Cool. Well, yeah, do you have any other, direct pieces of advice or, things you want to share with people who'd be considering the industry? Feel free.
Yeah, I would say if you're not afraid to fail, this is a good place to come because you're going to want to fail a few times right up front. It's okay. I expect all the engineers to come work for me and all the technicians to come work for me to fail. Because if we fail, we understand what the failure mechanisms are and how to avoid those going forward. And sometimes it means we may need to change practices or procedures of how we do stuff, or even improve equipment if necessary. So great opportunity to learn by failing. So how many places can you go and do that other than being a weatherman?